Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 376. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Brian Manjoma.
I'm on time this time.
Yay. And joining us live from New York City, Carlos Romero.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? I'm going to sound a little bit different. I might sound a little bit, softer. I might not yell like I do on some other shows because there's people directly above me.
Uh-oh.
So, that's
hey,
weird,
keep the noise down, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm sleeping over here.
I'm sleeping over here.
Yeah, man. Right from New York.
That's all. Yeah, live from New York City. It's Saturday night.
No, they don't say New York City. They say New York.
New
It's
York.
Saturday night.
Live from New York. It's Saturday
That should
night.
be city, man. You know, we ain't upstate.
We don't have that. Well, no, it's because you know what it is, man. They always call New York City, New York.
Yeah, that is true. When I went up there, that's what they said. I'm in Albany. They're like, "Oh, you're from New York, aren't you?" I'm like, "So are you." You know?
No, but
but yeah, you know what they meant.
That's the way it's always been, man. Like, New York is always been considered New York City. It's funny because I always thought it was interesting that they made Albany the
capital. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck, Albany? Make Manhattan the capital or something.
Yeah, Manhattan should be the capital, but
Yeah, that shit don't. And then the Albany people, they're the ones in charge of the MT. I'm like, really? MT?
Yeah.
You got motherfuckers all the way up there. It's like fucking 2 hours away on Amtrak. You know, it's crazy, man. But yeah, Carlos, man, you're gonna have a ball here, a whole month basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much a month here. Got here all yesterday, tired as hell, woke up today, went to a whole bunch of places, and tomorrow I got plans, and Sunday I got plans, so it's gonna be a good time.
Yo, man, leave Saturday open, man. We may hit the Cade, as I call it.
Saturday I'm free.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, because I was like, I think it might be better if we do Saturday.
I was surprised you didn't meet up for lunch. I mean, Carlos don't sound like he's that far from you.
Well, I didn't go to the city today.
On Friday. Isn't Friday usually your?
No. I usually skip Fridays, but I had been going because I had to do hardware reviews. But this week. Okay. Because of the daylight savings times, I only went to work one day the week. That day I was fucked up, So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna work from home the rest of the week, so I could actually sleep.
that explains the "I'm going into Elden Ring" tweet.
That's it, yeah, man. Because I don't have to worry about shit. Like, work's done. I'm going to Elden Ring. Let's go.
Yo, and by the way, you guys talking about daylight savings time. I had daylight savings time, and then I had New York savings time after that.
Damn, man.
I got the 2-piece, and then I got the New York sound effects 24/7. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're living it up. By the way, this just reminded me because we're talking about New York and stuff. I could tell this story on air, right? Obviously I'll omit names, but you guys will probably find it interesting. This happened to me at work, right? So I'm talking to this one lady, during lunch and stuff. And then, like, in the middle of it, she's like, hey, where's your accent from? I'm tripped out because I've never been asked this question in New York. I get asked this question all the time when I'm out in New York. Never been asked this in New York. I'm like, I'm from the same place everybody else here is from, New York. And I'm thinking, okay, she must be, like from another state or something, right? I'm like, where are you from? She goes, I'm from Long Island. I'm like, what? How do you not know a New York accent? And then this other lady shows up and she's like, yeah, but she's from Long Island. She's not a real New Yorker. You got to forgive her. So I'm like, I'm tripping out. Right? Yeah. There is something else she said, but this I will not say on air. But afterwards, right? I'm like, okay, am I crazy? Do I have some kind of funky accent? I go back to my, my place. I talk to one of my coworkers. I'm like, hey, where do I sound like I'm from? He's like, you sound like you're from Queens. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's okay. So I'm not crazy. It's just this woman from Long Island, He says, like, you sound like a Queens Italian, And I'm like, that kind of makes sense. Mike, we grew up with Mike,
There's different things.
There is, yeah.
Okay, so like for those who don't, who may remember, what was that show? The Nanny. with
Fran Drescher.
Fran Drescher essentially was one of our neighbors. We didn't know her specifically, but she grew up in our area. So her accent is somewhat close to what with the accent that we have in our area, though it's exaggerated.
Yeah, it's exaggerated, obviously. And the reason I bring this up is because, people go, oh, there's a New York accent. But you got to understand, there's different accents within New York, right? Like, the ones that are the most pronounced are, Bronx, obviously, Brooklyn, and Queens. Manhattan is like a weird mishmash because everybody works there. Staten Island, you could tell, though. You could tell those motherfuckers are from Staten Island. But, it's just kind of interesting. Everybody thinks, oh, it's just one accent. Like, every time I go somewhere, they're like, oh, you're from Brooklyn. I'm like, no, I'm from fucking Queens, bruh.
Well, the weird thing is with Manny, he doesn't have as a hard accent as sort of you have, Tony.
Yeah. I got a question for you, Carlos.
Oh, I'm getting my accent right now as we speak.
Who has the most hardcore New York accent on Throwdown? Because it's just between two guys. Let's just be honest here. Me and Adam.
Yeah, Adam. Well, I'll give the definitive rankings.
Yeah, okay.
It's you and it's Adam. It's close though. Yeah. Adam has a really thick accent, and then it's Chris, and then it's Manny.
Yeah, I think that's right. Manny has the least New York accent. You can still tell, obviously, but it's the least pronounced.
You can tell when I'm angry. That's what at least my girlfriend says. She's like, the New York accent's coming out.
Oh, but the reason I also bring this up is because this week at Tom's Side was the first. Well, I mean, even though I recorded it last week, was the first time I did a video, right? And the video editor, really cool guy, Brandon, he's like, "Oh my God, your accent is so thick. I love it." I'm like, dude, I that's the way I talk, man. I can't help it,
I mean, the thing about it is, it's also the thing about it is like it does pop up a lot. I mean, though I do notice that when certain things happen, you can lighten it a little bit.
Shit. Yeah, he maybe he got mugged, Carlos, we're like, this motherfucker got mugged and shit, Oh, there's Adam. Speaking about New York, You
doing?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah.
So my cabinet in the back, something at the top, so I have a volume controller module on top of my arcade cabinet, and it's there with electrical tape. It was solid, even with crazy glue. That shit fell, and when it fell, because it's so heavy, it ripped all the other cables out.
Oh shit!
So I've been behind this cabinet for the past half hour, trying. It just fell out of nowhere. Yeah, I can't. There's one cable. I don't know where the fuck it goes.
Well, because here's the thing, I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier, especially since you're using tape, because those cabinets get fucking hot.
I put tape, but that's it. I put Gorilla Glue, so it's also glued up. So it really, I had tape and glue. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be secure. And out of nowhere, it just ripped and everything popped out. So I plugged most of it in, but there's one cable that I don't know where the hell it goes, and the shit's not turning on. So it has to go somewhere on my Raspberry Pi, but I can't find the port. It's a micro USB.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm looking all around trying to see where to connect it. And then all the other wires are all hanging everywhere because when that ripped, it ripped everything off. Even shit that was crazy glued got ripped off.
Damn.
It's a fucking mess.
That's crazy.
My condolences, man.
Well, either way, we're glad you're here. We're just having some random conversation. Nothing's happening gaming this week. Fucking slow ass.
We're talking about accents.
Yeah, we're talking about New York accents. So yeah, so this is what by the way, Carlos Mob Hits agrees with you. He says I have the thicker accent than Adam. It's me and Adam. And Manny, going back to your point, here's the thing. I'm obviously aware of it, right? Like sometimes I go, should I say this the way it's supposed to be said, or the way I'm more comfortable saying it?
Well, Tony, there's a reason. I think there's a reason why that's the case.
Yeah.
I feel like you're more, it's like, how should I put it? It's like more, like gritty, more I feel like Adam, his is pronounced, but it doesn't feel like his accent comes from like a more gritty place. It sounds like
interesting.
I don't know how to describe it. Like you're because you're more.
Yo, man, you trying to say you ghetto, motherfucker?
Well, I mean, to be
Where do I live, man? I live in the projects, bro. It's like,
Tony,
what would you
Tony
expect?
lives in the projects. I mean, Adam did live in the projects, early in his life. So, but I think also Adam sort of absorbed a lot of.
Yeah, he's five borough.
He's
Five borough
Triborough,
traveler, so he sort of absorbed all of New York.
Yeah, I only got one. I just got Queens, Flushing, Queens.
So like,
Man, you remember that song? I don't even know if you know. It's like this. It was on YouTube. It's like we get it, and gun busting Flushing, and it was just a guy doing all these like the main spots in Flushing. He kind of looked like Fat Joe. It was hilarious. I'm like, man, you ain't. And they did rocking guns too. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean,
Queensbridge, they got Queensbridge.
Yeah, no, but that's what it is, Adam. Because you do have. I mean, to me, you sound like you're from fucking Bronx, but you do have like a mishmash. I'm just straight up concentrated Queens,
No, if you heard my sister, my sister and my brother, they actually, it's not Jose, but they sound like they're from the Bronx.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Adam's for five burros.
A little closer to Jennifer Lopez, more Jennifer
I
Lopez.
was gonna say, not Rosie Perez, right?
Not Rosie Perez, no.
That bitch has a thick accent, man. Billy, you so stupid.
Why you so stupid?
Well, she has that, Puerto Rican accent too,
Very whiny. It's a whine.
Oh man.
Well,
anyway,
it's a whole joke about J-Lo saying she was J-Lo from the block. It's like, I think it was.
What block she from?
I think it was Rosie Perez, because remember they were both fly girls.
That's right.
Rosie Perez was the choreographer, and she did not get along with J-Lo. So she even said after, when J-Lo released that song, J-Lo from Block, man, you went to private school. You really weren't from the block.
Yeah, what block she from?
A little of that Boricua shade right there.
Why we gotta hit on our own people? Why we gotta hit on our own people, man?
I want to see pictures of her at the handball court. That's what I want. If I see her at the handball court sitting there drinking some quarter waters, then I'm like,
some quarter waters.
I'm like, you the streets.
All right, get that shit out of here, man. I'm rocking with Batman right now,
That's it.
My volume up.
Go
ahead.
get me a Malta.
Malta. Yeah, let's see if she's drinking that shit, She better know about Malta.
It's funny, you realize that Malta has a certain amount of liquor in it.
It does. That's why they put it next to the beer.
Yeah, the funny thing is it's not. They say it's not enough, obviously, to get you drunk, but it's enough. It's enough of a percentage where they have to actually warn you about it, and it's actually different per bottle.
Oh, so really interesting.
They can't even tell you how much is in it, but it's a low percentage. But I'm like, if you think about it, us as kids, our parents giving us this shit literally has fucking liquor in it, and obviously those kids, they don't got a lot of. They don't got no tolerance for anything.
But it's not even that. Even at the bodega, they would sell it to you.
They would sell that shit to you. Yeah.
The thing again, it's like, it's like Robitussin. I was gonna say Robitussin.
Robitussin. Yeah.
Like our grandma, but yeah, it has a little bit of liquor in it, and so it obviously, it's enough to where you could sell it to people. Because even kombucha has what is considered a little bit of of liquor in it. So we're talking about liquor now. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's it. And just like St. Patrick's Day, it was cloudy as shit in New York. Always like that. By the way, Mob is asking about Andrew Dice Clay. That dude is a Jewish Brooklyn accent. You could tell.
He is, and also it's partly a put on too.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because you've heard him talk.
He lays it on heavier whenever he does his stand up show. Hey,
here's the Dice Man over here.
He does a little bit of a character. So yeah, but no, he's got a Jewish Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, you could tell. All right, man, let's get into it. Again, nothing happened in gaming this week, so apologies for the bullshit stories. But some interesting stuff. So basically, the one that caught my eye, the first one is the Halo showrunners said they didn't look at the game while developing the series. That's kind of troubling.
Yeah.
Like, I understand you want to make your own thing. Yes, you should make your own thing, but you should at least reference it to know when to change things up. You
But
know,
is it that he didn't look at the games, or he knew the story? If he knew the story, let's say if he was going off of the Halo novels, which people love,
this is what he
then that's
says. He
different.
goes, "We didn't look at the game. We didn't talk about the game. We talked about the character in the world. So I never felt limited by it being a game. So
So he's talking about the novels and all that
we,
stuff.
we don't know that. We don't know if he's talking about the
But
novels.
if how else is he gonna know about the characters and the world?
Who the fuck knows, man?
That world-
They may
that
have
world
just had a
building was-
page like here's the main guys. You know,
Well, because
Yeah,
that
I mean,
world
well-
building was done in the novels.
he didn't. I'm looking at this. There's no mention of the novels in here, dude.
Here's the
There's
thing.
no
Here's
mention of any of
like
that, but he said
I think it's like a lot of TV and shows and stuff like that. They have their little descriptions of all the different characters and people inside of it, and then they're just sort of going off in their own direction. So I would say that this, if you're a Halo fan, this show isn't even canon.
Yeah,
It's not connected to it. It's because especially what they're talking about here is like, going into the origins of Master Chief, and they're talking about him pulling off his helmet at some point, and then there's a lot of characters in there that nobody knows who the hell they are, that are shown, just that they're sort of featuring.
Well, it sounds like
in
they're
this
just
trailer.
making shit up as they go. You know.
Well, that's it. That's again, that's Hollywood for you, man.
Yeah, it is.
What you're gonna see, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna get a bunch of this additional development that happened nowhere in the games. They're gonna change a bunch of stuff around. There's gonna be familiar shit that you recognize, like Master Chief and his and the Marine guy. I can't remember his name.
And
What's that dude's
Cortana
name?
obviously is going to show up.
Yeah, Cortana.
Locke.
No, not Spartan Locke, but
The original
Sergeant Johnson.
Yeah,
Johnson. Yeah, the general.
He died.
Yeah, well, he's in it. They show him in the trailer.
But then
But,
basically, what you're saying is that we're getting the final season of Game of Thrones as a game.
Yes, you're getting something similar to that, or any adaptation of any video game or comic book. Again, it just depends on the thing about it is that when it comes to these sorts of things is that the biggest change when you see changes happening, it's usually if it's a person that really has respect for the original franchise, you'll see that it's stuff that sort of makes sense for the characters. Doctor Strange, the movie, as close to the original content it is, it's also different, but it's respectful. It feels right for the character. Same thing with, iteration, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or, some other things that they've actually had, a love for the franchise or the love for the character, and they want to make things that sort of make sense, but also it's new. But
Is this a
we'll
prequel?
See. It's not.
If it's a prequel to the
I think
story,
I think it's just completely different. It's just like J.J. Abrams Star Trek or something. It's like something else.
Yeah, it's sort of just like it's like
that's
sort of
only part of the Halo universe that a lot of people don't know because there's nothing to talk about is how did he turn into Halo, because we do know he was a Spartan, he was one of the best soldiers. It's the RoboCop story. They had this tech, they put them together, next he's 9 feet tall.
Well, no, Master Chief was bred to be a Spartan.
Yeah.
Unlike
he had memories.
he was.
Yeah, he was.
Memories.
There's a bunch of Spartans actually. They're all that size.
Yeah, the thing about it
all
is
the other ones, he was always the tallest one. Remember?
No, those were just regular soldiers. The Spartans are that big. Yeah.
Yeah, all genetic Spartans are all like super huge like that, and they all wear the same armor and stuff like that. But yeah, like he's supposed to be like a super soldier, and then later on they had normal sized Spartans, which essentially they got. Yeah. How the fuck do I know this? And I don't even play the game. Say this.
And also there's actually Artie's prequel, and it's called Halo Reach, and there's a lot of Spartans in that game.
Yeah, and they're all big.
The other group.
Yeah.
But Halo. But is it? Were they the real Spartans, or were they those injection Spartans, the ones that they just there
were. It's John something. Hold on, Master Chief.
Jon Snow.
Yeah.
They're the same. They're the same as Master Chief. But Master Chief, ended up being the last of them.
The last of us.
I'm the last of the Spartans.
But I have a question for Adam.
Yeah.
Adam,
John 117. That was his name.
Oh yeah, Tony, you remember this?
Yeah.
Man, you remember John?
Hey,
I remember
In
John.
Halo 4, when we played Halo 4, she told him his name, Cortana. Cortana.
Good
That's what I'm
Cortana.
saying, and everything was pointing that he had a backstory, but they just never really went into it.
Adam, I have a
Oh,
question for you.
yeah.
I know, I gotta switch gears quite literally because I know you don't feel as heavy for Halo as you do for Gears of War. But how would you feel if they make Gears of War movie and they don't semi-adopt the story of the game? It's like, oh yeah, this guy didn't even play the Gears games, doesn't know the story of the Gears games. I'm just gonna make a Gears of War movie. How would you feel about that?
I would need to know what he does know about it. Does he just know that there was a game called Gears and there's a chainsaw gun? If that's all he knows,
Yeah.
then that's bullshit. But if he knows, like, listen, I talked to the writers. They gave me a rundown of what I need to know, and I'm going to go in another direction. But I get the gist of it. The world, environment, Dom, the relationship, his kid, JD. All right, run that down. Then you have the key elements. Now run with it. So that's the same thing here. Okay, he said he knows Master Chief and he knows the universe. That's real vague. That could be anything. You know, so
yeah,
how
and
much do you
also
know?
reading this, like he said that he just called up a bunch of friends, so they let him know what's going on in the game.
Yeah, that doesn't sound.
I don't know. That's not
Well,
giving me a lot of
is
confidence.
well, here's the thing. Is he the director or he's the one that wrote the script?
He's the showrunner.
The
He's
showrunner.
the showrunner. All right, so that's
The
even worse.
showrunner is
He
the
should know.
overarching.
They should know everything. Yeah, the showrunner
Yeah,
should
the
know.
showrunner is the overarching manager of all the shows. They keep all the stories
So-
and stuff and plot and everything, and they sort of keep
What is
everything
this?
together.
I mean, it must have been released already. What's this show about? What is it? There's got to be some kind of like little synopsis of like.
Well,
oh,
we don't know yet because all they're doing is we're just seeing trailers. We don't have.
I think the show's actually out though, isn't it?
Is
It's,
it?
yeah, they were sending out some
Yeah.
reviews or something. of
Yeah, I
first
saw people
episode.
reviewing the first couple episodes.
Yeah, so it's got to be something.
All
Are
right.
we gonna do an I Am John?
You know what? Let me take
Yeah.
a look at IMDb. IMDb has to have the.
Gotta have something.
Yeah. But this is like the third one because remember we had that one on the History Channel. That was pretty good.
There's one on Netflix. There was one that was on Netflix for a
Yeah,
bit.
that was the other one. There was three of them.
That
And
one
now we
was
got
that
this
was
one.
interesting because it kind of really like subverted, lots of like sidestep a lot of the real Halo shit.
So they showed portion of the series at South by Southwest. Maybe that's what people are talking about.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Isn't that a
no,
isn't
no,
that a-
see,
isn't
yeah,
that an airport like a flight a plane company?
no, South by Southwest is a independent film festival that has in Texas every
Oh.
year.
It seriously sounds like an airline.
Wait, you've never heard of South by Southwest?
Nah.
Oh wow, it's a big
Oh.
film festival. It's been going on for like decades.
Forever,
It's a film
forever.
festival, it's
So-
a music festival also.
Yeah.
So this just for the description just says aliens threaten the survival of the humans. That's it.
That's
I'm like,
That's it.
that sounds like a generic.
it is very generic. It's one sentence, and this is already done. That's the weird shit. I mean, you can
Oh, look at
find
that. South by
more-
Southwest will go on for 35 years. Oh shit.
Shit.
Austin, Texas, man.
Well,
Yes.
if they didn't if the showrunner is not referring to anything from the Halo movies, then there's no member berries.
No member. Yeah,
Other-
it is true. No member berries.
Because and then it was the live action Lock series, which was Halo.
That got canceled,
Remember
didn't it?
That got canceled. Yeah, that was part of the Microsoft TV everything
Was
for the Xbox
what's
One.
his face? What's his face in that one?
The boy, what's his name from Evil?
Luke Cage?
And from Luke Cage, yeah, that dude. That
Oh,
was
shit.
Locke. That was Locke.
I
Yeah,
know he
Luke
played
Cage,
him in
yeah.
the game, but I didn't remember if he played him in the show because you know how they do.
Well, he would have played him in the show if it didn't get canceled.
You talking about the Italian guy?
No, he's talking
no.
about the Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Yeah,
Oh,
the-
Luke
the-
Cage.
He played Locke in the live action that they did that was on
Oh.
Xbox when they were doing the, remember the episodic, there's like 6 episodes or some shit for that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that.
But that never came out though, right?
It did.
Oh, it did? Okay,
It was
okay.
it. It was on Xbox. And that was their launch for the whole Xbox TV, and remember they bought studios and they
Yeah,
would
yeah,
do all
TV,
this shit.
TV, sports, all that shit.
That went to shit. So we had that. We had the History Channel do this whole Halo one. You had the Netflix, and then the Showtime one, which I guess is this. This is it. And
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
This has been in development hell because it's been passed around so many times. So many different
It was,
directors were tied to this.
the guy who did the guy who did District 9 was actually supposed to direct the movie years ago.
Blomkamp?
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp.
Oh wow.
This was it's been a mess. It's been a mess. It was supposed to go, like you mentioned, it was supposed to go to the theaters. Then it got canceled. They were like, no, we're not gonna do it. We'll put it for TV, and then they wanted Microsoft to front all the money. It was crazy.
What happened,
Yeah.
Carlos?
I like it's kind of sidetracking, but with Manny's like, yeah, the guy that did District 9, we're gonna be saying that forever now. It's like, no, not the guy that made Chappie or the guy that made the first person movie. It's like, yeah, it's just always gonna be District 9 for
District
that
9,
guy.
yeah.
man.
That is his best movie, man.
Yeah, but he's
I did like the one he did after.
Chappie.
No, not Chappie. It was one before that. The one with Matt Damon.
Oh,
Elysium?
I had my problems with
I
it.
thought it was interesting.
It was okay.
I had my problems with that movie.
I liked it.
You liked it?
like
You liked it?
I liked it.
every time Neil Blomkamp does a new movie, I'm like, I think everyone that's a fan of District 9 is just, oh, he's got it in him. Like I hope this is the one where he gets to come back to his peak, but that never happens.
Yeah.
So he's always going to be the guy that made District 9.
There is some really cool, like Neil Blomkamp has this one like effects company, and they make shorts. I think on YouTube you can watch a bunch of them. They're actually pretty good, like interesting little like CGI shorts / movies, and I think they're on Netflix right now. I can't remember what the hell the name was.
He should have done the Halo movie or the Halo TV show.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I do remember he was attached to it. I recall.
There's all this design work that he released, and it looked interesting.
Shit, hell, even Steven Spielberg was attached to a lot of these projects.
Wasn't?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
He came out on stage when they first announced the TV, and they did all that stuff. And they had Steven Spielberg come out to show that he was on board with these projects.
And then they gave him the whole caboodle. They even gave him
Wasn't Neil Blomkamp like doing an Alien movie or something?
Yeah, he had a new sequel Alien movie that he wanted to do, and it got pretty far, but it didn't make it.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
I feel like when Hollywood saw that some of the films that he had done didn't do so great.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not so willing to give him the things that he wants anymore.
Yeah, no, I think you're right about that. All right, anything else you guys want to say about Halos?
Just fucking focus on the game and bring out that co-op play, because it's still delayed and it's bullshit. That should have been the first feature. I would have preferred that than all this multiplayer half-ass shit. Just bring us a co-op multiplayer, because you got an open world, want to run around as with Carlito, and we can't even do that shit. We can't even do it.
Well, the co-op is multiplayer technically, and also they don't have Forge, so
That's whack.
Forge is what adds to the community. It adds to the community. People make playlists, they make games and game types and stuff, and they get to share, kind of like a Super Mario Maker. I mean, Forge precedes that, but Super Mario Maker is a lot more popular, and it's not there. The game didn't come out complete, and I said this from the beginning, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna play Halo Infinite until it's complete.
And
it's 4 months later, still not complete.
Nope, that's whack.
Shit is whack. All right, move on. What else are we talking about right now? All right, so I threw this in here just because I know it's popular, but I personally don't give a fuck. But thankfully, Manny saw it, so he could tell us a rundown. We're talking about the Hogwarts Legacy game. They had a state of play for it, which is very interesting. Like, you haven't had a state of play for this, but again, I keep forgetting Harry Potter. Very, very popular franchise. One of the biggest selling book franchises. The movies obviously did really big, despite all the controversy. Well, I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But Manny, so what did this state of play consist of?
Well, I mean, a lot of it is just sort of introducing you to the world, the Hogwarts world. It's essentially like a combination of, what you saw in the films, and then extensions using the books to fill in the space.
Okay,
so,
because I'm sorry, because I'm completely ignorant. is this like an open world game? What kind of game is this?
It's an open world. Well, it's the majority of it takes place in Hogwarts, but you can leave Hogwarts and explore a larger open world and discover
Interesting.
different things. So like throughout the game, you're sort of, at least from what they're saying, is that you're sort of learning new powers and you're learning new abilities, and then you eventually get to get to more areas in the place, and then sort of like interact and get some new items and meet new people and all kinds of other things. So it's an interesting idea. Where in other words, you got to go to your classes every day.
Oh
right?
boy.
I guess learn some. I guess my guess is it's probably going to be like maybe more of like an extended tutorial when you're going.
What
through
is
your
this, bully?
classes. Who knows? You go to these extended tutorials, I would see. It seems like to learn new abilities, and then you get to apply them, and then you get to use them in the world. And there's all kinds of crazy rooms and different hidden things to find inside the castle. Again, like it's a very impressive looking game, and the amount of research from what it seems like they did in it it's interesting. But at the same time, like you said, for me, it's like I've never really had any connection to the Harry Potter like universe. I saw like 2 of the films. I think the second one with the snake in it, and then and one of the later ones, and then I saw the Fantastic Beasts, and I'm just like, people waving their hands around.
I've never seen a single one of those movies, and I have absolutely no interest. So,
and what they did with this game is that they set it in the 1800s, which is earlier than a lot of the content that exists in the Harry Potter world. So it's even before that Fantastic Beasts show. Movie, where that one's supposed to be like an origin movie of Hogwarts and Dumbledore and all those guys. So so this one they mostly did it for the fact because they didn't want to put any of the recognizable actors inside of the game.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see fucking Dumbledore walking around. It's going to be some other guy. The teachers of the different courses are not going to be the same people that you recognize, with the exception of some things. So I would say possibly because there's ghosts and all kinds of other crazy things inside of the Hogwarts that people have interacted with in the movies and in the books. And it's sort of like a create your own character. But the creator character thing looks pretty good. Like they showed I think for this one they made it like an Asian guy. So I mean he looked like a legitimate character. He didn't look like like some of those freaks that come out of Demon Souls. Like what I suspect is that it's probably like the way Cyberpunk. It's sort of like a semi-limited character creation thing where you can make essentially good-looking people, except you can't physically make a horrible-looking character.
Yeah, Carlos, what's up?
Yeah, I saw some of part of the trailer, and I think Manny brings up the sort of the best part of this whole thing. It's like it looks more ambitious than you would assume a Harry Potter game looks.
It's like whoever it seems like the developers like we're talking about people immersing themselves in the content of something, right? They seem to be really in tune with a lot of the world of Harry Potter, like fans of the book, maybe unlike a certain person who created a Halo series who just made up shit.
And this was delayed also. This one had some delays.
Yeah, this one's delayed, but I mean if you look at it, it looks like they did a lot of work. Like they say you can explore the castle, and then you can leave the castle, and there's this whole area outside of the castle. So
Universal
I'm like,
Studios.
Yeah, it's like
you go outside. Like,
you go outside and you can go on the Hagrid ride from Florida, right? No.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But it's interesting. So my guess is like you'll probably run into like a bunch of some known species in the game because it looks like they have a lot of elves and things, and then they also sort of have different like their magic abilities, like that you can actually kind of combo. So they sort of do like it's almost like has beat 'em up aspects to them, or psychic power aspects to it. So like in other words, just depending on what thing you've chosen, you can sort of do those different moves and sort of chain them around.
Oh man, what is this, Ghostwire Hogwarts?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like it's a third-person version of it, almost like the way like you see that in Ghostwire, where he's twirling around his hands and he's using all kinds of things. It's almost very similar, but it seems like they gave him a lot of like they looked at the books and a lot of the lore of it, and then just sort of made powers in it. And they also did something which I know from people who are fans of the books. They actually say their powers, because eventually at some point, at least what I know in the Harry Potter movies, they eventually stopped saying whatever magic ability they were doing, because usually the way their powers works, they point the wand and they say the word, and then the magic happens. But then eventually it just became, they just wave the wand and it knows exactly what you want to do, because it's easier.
Yo, man,
But in this one,
that wasn't the case. They just, said a spell before they started fighting, saying, "Hey, just read my mind with the spell." And
yeah.
just
They said it in their head first. But no, in this one, they actually say what the spell is, like Pyrorgus or whatever. The character actually says whatever.
Right back at you, buddy.
Yeah, he says whatever whatever the spell is. So I'm sure like Harry Potter fans would be, the hardcore of the Harry Potter fans would be happy about that.
All right.
But yeah.
Again, I have no. I didn't even see it. I don't care, but I know people like it.
I mean, looking at the game, it looks like a next gen game.
Is it actually a next gen game?
I don't know, but it looks very nice.
No, it's coming to PS4 as well.
Right, so it's not.
It's a multi-plat. It's a
multi-plat game. But it definitely looked like it. You know how you can look at something and say, "Man, that looks expensive."
Yeah.
It looks expensive.
That's
it
good.
looks like they spent. It looks like they spent some serious money.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Harry Potter's, Warner Brothers. I'm pretty sure they spent a pretty penny.
like Horizon Zero Dawn looks fucking expensive.
Exactly. See, and I appreciate that. I like it when they're like, "Here's the fucking money," I like that.
Like Mortal Kombat, you played the most recent one, and those cutscenes are pretty long.
Yeah.
Pretty lengthy, the quality's up there. So
you can definitely tell on the Mortal Kombat game that they spent some serious fucking money making those characters look good.
Mm-hmm.
then also, then you see that one polygon guy. I'm like, oh, there's the one where they cut the corners.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It definitely looks expensive, so that's good.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciate that.
Well, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a big deal, and they obviously the franchise, the Harry Potter franchise is so big for Warner Brothers. That's like on the level of like the Lord, it's
that is their Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
it's their Lord of the Rings. Well, then again, they do have the franchise of Lord of the Rings.
Do they have? They do have it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Warner Brothers has still got it. So
yeah,
they have that. They have Batman.
Oh, because they own New Line Cinema, right?
Yeah, New Line Cinema.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, no, I mean, again, I don't care about Harry Potter again this, but yeah, the graphics I'm looking at now, that shit looks legit.
Yeah, it looks real nice. It looks really nice. So like again, like that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, I have no interest in this, but I have to say it looks very well executed.
Yeah,
we'll see when people get in their hands and people start falling through the world and shit.
Yeah,
but I mean, here's the thing. I in all the years of Warner Brothers, I have to say they have a pretty good track record of putting out games that actually work. I can't say that that like as much as like a lot of their games are all licensed, they're licensed games, they're based off of their properties that they own. Their games seem to be working out pretty well. Like I don't remember like Batman or any other
Back for Blood
being being bad, like not bad, but like just unplayable.
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of the Harry Potter games. I read all the books. I saw all of the original Harry Potter storyline movies. And I am looking forward to seeing next week Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway.
Whoa! You went and got that?
Yeah, I'm going next week.
What?
But
you're getting a full New York experience, man.
I'm walking over here. Yeah, the games aren't never been compelling to me, and but I will say we'll give them credit. Like what everyone's mentioning is that it looks like they are actually putting an effort into this one, where it looks like, it's like, oh, it's got school, but it's got like this open world where you can go to different places in the castle or outside the castle, and different characters that serve different purposes, and there's a kid that sneaks around places, the kid that is into the beasts, and that attention to detail is is appreciated. But I just hope that they can deliver. And I was checking my timeline uh, earlier today, and it seems like a lot of people were hyped for it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was a coincidence that it was just the PlayStation fans that were hyped, but could be something.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen it. Again, it's the Harry Potter franchise, man. I understand the hype because a lot of people really like it. They grew up with it and everything, you know.
Did you see a correlation between those people and PlayStation fans? Mainly PlayStation fans?
Not to my knowledge, but they could have been PlayStation fans. You know how those guys get, you know.
Yo, man, it's great. Greatest game ever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody because this game called Tunic was released on Xbox. Just kind of came out of nowhere. The game was announced, obviously, but it just came out this weekend. PlayStation fans were using that as ammo. Like, oh, look how this is the best you guys got. Like, come on, guys, shut the fuck up with that shit.
I mean, Xbox did also have their little indie thing that happened pretty recently too.
Yeah, but you know, people are being people, you know, or fanboys. Excuse me, were being fanboys.
But they do know that Harry Potter is a multi-plat.
They're fucking idiots though. They're like, oh, this is our game. Don't stay to play. You know.
Well, there are some
for the advertising, you know, but it's not. It's like the Cyberpunk situation with Microsoft. Yeah. It's not there. It's just.
Well, there is a certain somebody who said that this was an Xbox exclusive.
Oh.
But no one talks about her anymore.
Oh. Actually, well, you know, she kind of did come back up in the recently after what G4 did, Brian. You know what I'm talking about?
That's kind of the joke.
Yeah.
It's a Voldemort joke, right, Brian? Or am I mistaken?
No. It's just
playing with the balls.
It's like a
playing with the balls.
Well, the joke was that no one talks about her, but even though that everyone does kind of talk about her and what she said afterwards, so it's kind of funny that yeah.
Oh, I get it.
But yeah, she did say this was an Xbox exclusive, which it isn't.
And then she's confused why people yell at her.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Hilarious, man.
Yeah, my thoughts on the game was that it looked okay. Like again, it was inoffensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like because my girlfriend, she's a big fan of the Harry Potter lore and the universe, so we've sat through all the films a couple of times, and yeah, there were a few things that I noticed in there, and a few things that I was wanting to see, and it's in there. Like for example, the death curse at the end, so that's quite nice. Or for those of you that don't know, the one where it's green when it shoots out. There you go.
That
doesn't mean anything to me either.
I don't know.
The green
Crickets
one,
in my
Tony.
brain.
That's what you say.
Okay, whatever. Go ahead.
It's basically the Harry Potter version of the red lightsaber. Let's say.
Oh, okay. So green is evil in the Harry Potter universe.
It's one of the curses used by the evil people.
Oh,
so,
all right.
Hence, it's like the dark side in essence. But yeah, it looked interesting. They had cool. Again, as you guys said, it looks interesting. As in, it looks quite nice. It's spent tons of money on there, so that's quite cool. And yeah, I generally didn't have much of a problem. The only thing that kind of irked me was the section when they were showing how you can have like a home base and you can plant different plants for different potions, and these plants on like a timer cooldown. So you have to wait like 25 minutes in real world for them to actually be harvested. So it's
just woke up.
So it's kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that because that's rightful exploitation. It's like, hey, cut the timer down by purchasing these microtransactions.
Oh, God.
So I can see that happening. So if it does just pull out of nowhere, then it's like, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, apart from that, it looks like fun. I'll probably be picking it up just to have a go with it and show my girlfriend. Like we played the Lego Harry Potter ones, and we thought that was just fun. So hopefully this will also be fun. I am sure at some point in time they'll make a reference to Voldemort because it's kind of like how no matter what Batman thing you do, at some point in time you just must mention the Joker because it's Batman.
Or no matter which Star Wars movie or game you're playing, Palpatine is going to show up.
Yeah, he has returned.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, I saw the trailer today when I was watching the Batman. I saw the Fantastic Beast movie. That one actually does look pretty decent. Might give it a try. Third
I
one.
saw the first one and I was like, okay, I don't really need to see any more of these.
Yeah, I only saw the first one and it wasn't that great, but
They keep swapping out friggin' the villain in that thing. Like first it was Colin Farrell, and then it's Johnny Depp, and then now it's Mads Mikkelsen.
Is it the same character?
It's the same guy. He just keeps changing. Like
Interesting.
like in the first movie, like Colin Farrell like literally rips his face off or some shit, and then poof, it's Johnny Depp with his hair bleached white, and then he's got like a white eye.
Yeah.
And then now it's like he was in the second movie. In the second movie it was Johnny Depp, and now it's Mads Mikkelsen.
And they explain it in the movies?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yo, man.
It's some sort of magic that he's doing that's changing. He allows him to change his look.
They kind of didn't really explain it how he changed in the next film because the whole Amber Heard controversy. So he lost his job.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, didn't he because I know again, Johnny Depp was playing him in the second one, but he in the first movie he literally did some magic ability.
Oh yeah.
And
but I mean, for like
to Johnny Depp.
Yeah, but for the switch to Mads, they didn't say why Mads is there and not Johnny Depp, and the reason is the whole Amber Heard thing, and dude lost his job.
Yo, by the way, speaking of Colin Farrell, man, he's so freaking good in the Batman.
In the Batman, he's he's like a chameleon. Like he just totally just disappeared in that makeup.
I was paying more attention into the characters and stuff because the story in the first go around I focused on the story because I was like, what's gonna happen next? But I already know what was gonna happen next. Just saw like the performances and man, they were so good, so good.
One thing somebody brought up, it's like if you're gonna hide Colin Farrell under all that makeup and have him do this like other accent, why not just get somebody else?
Because he's a good actor.
You know what I mean? You could have just got somebody that looks like that instead of hiding Colin Farrell under all that stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I suspect that because I think Colin Farrell is sort of going the direction of like a more of a character actor as he gets older. Because he used to be like leading man material, but
he just did the TV show Northwater, and he plays a character. He's a
I think that's what his career is starting to look like now. Like he's looking to play more different types of characters, and it doesn't matter if he's covered up a bunch of makeup. I mean, it's the same. What's his face? The guy who plays Commissioner Gordon in the previous Batman. The Batman.
Oh yeah, Gary Oldman.
He's a character actor. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the character. Gary Oldman literally covered himself up for Dracula, and he played like.
Well, for Dracula, you kind of had to get all done up, so he could look like a monster,
Even both versions of himself in that movie don't look like him.
Yeah.
Like sexy version of him and other version of him don't look like Gary Oldman.
Same thing. And also, Manny, Winston Churchill, you're gonna say, right?
Yeah, Winston Churchill too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, like with Gary Oldman, you expect that. With Colin Farrell, you expect it to be Colin Farrell in your face, But
I'm saying I think that because Colin Farrell is getting older and he's not like sexy leading man looking anymore as much as he used to. I think he's trying to go toward.
Well, that doesn't really apply to men too much,
Well, no, it does. It sort of does, especially like once.
But he's not of that age. He's not like 60 years old or something,
No, but I think in general he's just looking. When that wave of like putting him in those sorts of things sort of wore off, I think he's really just looking to play more characters. So it doesn't matter if he covers himself up, kind of like what Johnny Depp was doing.
Yeah,
where he was literally covering himself up in cakes of makeup. I mean, they got him to play. I can't remember. Play a New York mobster in one movie. He's all covered up in that one.
Yeah, but the difference is he can still tell it's Johnny Depp. You can still tell, like there's nothing that's Colin Farrell about him at all.
His eyes.
like yeah, because I know what you're talking about with the Johnny Depp movie. He was like an Irish mobster though. He wasn't like like you could still tell it was fucking Johnny Depp. But I'm not complaining. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point.
And by the way, to be fair, Colin Farrell hasn't been like the leading man type since the 2000s.
Oh
So
shit.
Yeah, you're true. True.
he's been like a character actor. He did one of my favorite movies from the last decade. It's called Lobster. Really good. He wasn't really like the Colin Farrell sort of
The
prototype.
last leading man role I've seen him was in the Total Recall movie, based off the book.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they were trying to push him off as the leading man action hero type, and I think the movies that he did that were like that didn't even really work out.
And he did way before that. There was that phone booth movie where he was in a phone booth.
Yeah, the I think that's the last Joel Schumacher movie.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, phone booth.
Yep.
Yo, Carlos, what do you think of Lobster?
Oh, one of my favorite movies the year it came out. It's so freaking weird, man.
I know, right?
Yeah, man. It's a freaky ass movie, man. What's the actor? Is Rachel Weisz or who was it? The opposite.
The same one that was in The Mummy. So I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rachel
Weisz.
Weisz.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I think he got fat for that movie too.
Yeah. What the hell were we even talking about? Oh yeah, Harry Potter.
Lobster.
Right.
Harry Potter.
Anyway, any last thoughts on Harry Potter or Hogwarts, I should say?
I mean, if it's looking like it's a serious take on the Harry Potter universe. I mean, I'm sure the Harry Potter fans will be happy with that thing because they look like they did some serious work on that.
Yeah, and like you said, it's the opposite of the Halo show.
Yeah, it's the opposite of the Halo show.
It's like, we don't give a shit. We're just gonna do whatever. These guys
we're just gonna make,
yeah.
Like that's
the only thing that we could say that could be a good sign is just based off of the sales of just Halo itself. Because if it was strong with the sales and the story, it was like, oh damn, don't mess up. This is a winning formula, but it hasn't done shit. So maybe we need somebody from Hollywood to take a new direction. Can't get any worse than it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true. I mean, like I would say, like it would be more of a red flag if we did it if this happened in the era of Halo when people gave a shit.
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
whenever people cared in the story, it was like, oh, you can't fuck up my Halo story in Cortana. Now people don't give a shit. No one fucking cares.
Yeah.
It's interesting. All right, man. Let's move on. What are we talking about? Right? Oh, we have to talk about Perfect Dark.
Dog.
Very interesting. So apparently, this game has been having development problems. Apparently, half its developers left within the last year.
That's the initiative, right?
The initiative.
Video?
Yeah. They apparently lost half the developers.
Damn.
Which is, this is all coming from insider sources, obviously. So take it how you will. But yeah, it says as much as half. I'm reading this from VGC News. As much as half of the core development team have quit in the past year, the initiative management says it's confident in its team. What's happening over there, though?
I mean, it could be the usual sort of Microsoft stuff where they're not. There's maybe a lot of demands that are being put on them, and they can't really deliver. Or all of them?
Well, this was the Hodgepodge studio, right? This is all brand new. This was a brand new studio they put together, right? That's what this one was.
The initiative wasn't. Haven't they been around?
No, remember there was a bunch of studios that they bought, and then there was one that they said they were putting together from a group of developers that are established from other projects.
Oh,
and I'm pretty sure that was that studio. It was just like, oh, look, we're gonna create our own new studio. So it looks like they just aren't getting along.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just read this story because I haven't read too much on it. It goes, as much as half of the core development team known to be working on the upcoming Perfect Dark reboot quit the company during the last year, or around 36 people. Analysis of employee LinkedIn profiles have revealed. Okay, so this is actually, you could verify yourself. That includes most of the initiative's senior design team, including game director Dan Newberger, design director Drew Murray, lead level designer Chris O'Neill, principal world builder Jolien Myers, 2 senior system designers, and a group of 3 former God of War designers. Wow, damn.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. There's a bunch of people from other projects that joined in on this. So yeah, this is that studio.
Yeah, and the turnover of top talent doesn't end in design. Perfect Dark's 2 most senior writers also recently quit. Analysis shows, along with the project's and technical director tech art director, lead game designer, or lead game engineer, lead animator, QA lead, and more. Fuck. And it's all from LinkedIn, so it's not like someone's making it up. You just go and see it for yourself. It says, according to LinkedIn, the initiative is now less than 50 people when duplicates, former employees, and erroneous listings are removed, and currently has just 3 roles advertised on its website. Analysis suggests it hired around 12 people in the past 12 months. What's going on in Paradise, man? Shit.
No one gives a shit about the game.
Yeah, it says the timing of the departures coincides with the December 2021 announcement that Crystal Dynamics had been signed on to co-develop the game.
Oh, yeah, I remember
that explains it. Okay. So it's like all these guys left. Yeah, Crystal Dynamics, yeah. This combined with the new job roles currently advertised on the initiative suggests that the Tomb Raider developer is likely taking a much stronger lead than first thought. Whoa. Yo, what is going on over there?
Well, then they just answered their question. Why they're leaving? Well, because they're probably not doing shit. They're like, all right, then if I'm not doing anything, and these guys I got a new boss. And
no, it's not that. I think the Crystal Dynamics was brought in because all these people were leaving. That's what it seems like. Understand?
It made it seem like they brought them in to take the lead.
No, it seems
these guys had to take a step back, and they're like, "Oh, forget it."
Yeah, I mean, you could see that way as well. I guess we don't know. I guess we don't know.
I just find it funny that Microsoft bought like 1 million studios and they still go for like a Square Enix studio for help.
No, you're right about that.
They didn't have an abundance to pick from, to help out.
The bigger question: who was asking for this game?
I don't even know.
Anyone who was giving a shit? I didn't give a shit.
There's like one dude,
But here's the thing: you know what it really is. It's because it does still have that, despite the last few games being kind of, I think the last game wasn't so good.
There's only 2. There's only 2.
I think it still has that sort of pull as a franchise that people recognize. So that's part of the reason why I think these things are popping up. It's still they're deciding to still do it.
Well, the last one was a disappointment, Perfect Dark Zero, and that was the 360 launch game.
Yeah, everybody hated that one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like everybody was like, "Yo, give us some more, please."
Yeah, I think because most of the fan base was established during the 64 days with the Perfect Dark game, and I think that's what they try to do what Manny's saying in the 360 days with that launch title with Perfect Dark Zero, and after that failed, they just put it on the back shelf for on cold storage, and I guess they're trying to relive the magic, but I'm with Adam here. This wasn't necessary. Hardly anyone cares about this franchise anymore. It's a franchise that was relevant almost 30 years ago.
Jesus.
And it's time to move on. And it sucks, man, because the initiative was supposed to be this studio that that was like from the ground up built by Microsoft, and they gave them a franchise that was a dud already, and apparently this development cycle is not looking good for the team, so just kind of sucks.
Yeah, by the way, reading a little bit forward here, yeah, it seems that Crystal Dynamics was brought on because all these people had left.
Damn.
They were brought in to fill in the gaps. So yeah, something's going on there.
It's a better paycheck for that group then.
Yeah, right? That shit is crazy. All right, nothing more to say about. Oh, by the way, Carlos, was that you that threw this story in here? Because this probably would have been the lead. I totally forgot about this. Jesus.
I was surprised we didn't talk about it. I'm like, well, what's going on?
No, yeah, I'm glad you figured. This probably would have been the lead story because whatever. But anyway, good news. Good news, people.
Good news.
Yeah, Elden Ring has sold 12 million copies in 2 weeks.
Oh, look at that!
Total Recall. That is crazy. So this is obviously the highest selling Souls game, like off the bat. And apparently, like if you combine all the Souls games, they hadn't sold this many until Dark Souls 3 came out.
Damn.
And this is just 2 weeks, so this is going to be a fucking monster, And I talked about this on Twitter. I'm like, this shit ain't niche, not anymore, And the thing is, it hasn't been niche. If Dark Souls 3 sold 10 million, that shit stopped being niche years ago, because people still like, oh, this is a niche franchise. This is a niche franchise. 12 million motherfuckers, that ain't niche,
Well, 12 million is Call of Duty numbers.
That is Call of Duty numbers, and Carlos, 2 weeks, it's gonna keep going. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna keep going.
And it's the word of mouth has been nothing but positive,
Yeah.
even since people got it the game.
It's
And,
interesting because, like, oh, not to cut you off, but like, it's interesting how like people who don't like Dark Souls are playing this game, even though, and Carlos, I know you agree with me because we talked about this. It's the same thing. It just seems like the only difference is that open world makes a difference. I guess that's all that people needed, because this is just as like obtuse as the other games. It's just as brutal as the other games. None of that's changed. This is not user friendly at all. You know,
I feel like this game, and I mentioned it when we were talking about our kind of quick reviews about it.
Yeah.
I feel like this game's way more accessible than the previous ones, because the previous ones always felt claustrophobic.
Maybe
Like
that's what I'm asking. Like, do you for you specifically, Carlos? I know you played the other games too, but do you feel that's what the key difference is? The fact that, like, for example, you get stuck on a boss in the old games, you just had to just keep hitting your fucking head against this boss until you beat him. Now you're like, man, I'm gonna go do something else instead. You know, you think that's the difference?
Oh yeah, that's one of the leading factors towards accessibility, and also just the fact that like, and you mentioned this previously, it's memeable as hell.
Absolutely memeable. You know,
People keep posting their screenshots, their memes, their video clips, and all of it's making the rounds, and it's stuff that it's typical game kind of stuff. It's quintessential gaming. That's what brings people together, the community together. It reminds me sort of like playing a game when I was a kid. Having all of these types of like interesting things in a game that can be kind of mystical without sounding too cheesy.
Interesting. I wonder what you really mean by that. I'm a little confused by the word mystical here.
Well, when you play, and all right, I'm gonna do it. When you play a game like Horizon Forbidden West, the only thing that can be mystical about that game now is sort of the story aspect. It's like, oh shit, like like the last part of the story in Horizon Forbidden West. It's like, oh shit, and that's part of what got me. But like for this game, it has more to do with the world. Like you riding your horse, and suddenly a motherfucker the size of a building is throwing a spear at you.
It sounds like the word you want to use is maybe something more like surprising or something like that. Like it'll you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's not the correct word, but it seems like you kind of know what you're gonna get with Horizon. This one, you go around, you don't know what you're gonna find.
Exactly.
You don't know. Yeah, that's it. I think I got the word. Wonder, the sense of wonder.
Yeah. Wonder is a good word for that.
Yeah.
It's that type of stuff, and that's why I mentioned, back when I was a kid, when we were kids playing video games, that's mostly what we were receiving, because we didn't have that index of video game knowledge that we do now, and yeah, it's great, man. I'm really glad people are liking it. And it just adds to the fact, and people were talking about this on Twitter, a mostly single player game, because I know this can technically be called a multiplayer because with the co-op and stuff, but mostly a single player game is selling Call of Duty numbers.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Mob Hits, he goes, so are you saying that Elden Ring might reach the potential of Grand Theft Auto? No, obviously not. But no, 12 billion is Call of Duty numbers. That is Call of Duty numbers, absolutely. So it's great to see.
No microtransactions, no free to play bullshit.
None of that.
NFTs.
I saw somebody post that. It's like they should call. I'm gonna butcher this, right? But it was like they said Miyazaki's the new 007. It's like 0 microtransactions, 7 masterpieces, something like that. It's crazy, man. I still wouldn't go that far as calling it a masterpiece, but it's really fucking good. As a matter of fact, it may get me to change one of my kind of rules when it comes to Game of the Year contenders. Because one of my rules has to have a traditional 3-act story structure for it to be considered, right? This is why I've never considered any of these Dark Souls games even though I love them. Like Bloodborne's fucking great, but the story is not really a story. It's just it's just set pieces, basically, right? I may have to change it for this one just because it's so fucking good, because it's great. It is fantastic. I love it. I'm playing because again, love me some Horizon, obviously, but I think I may enjoy this more, man. I think I do, despite how brutal it is.
Oh yeah, I within the first week of me playing this game, I came to that conclusion. I felt like this is because it's for me, and you guys know how I am with games. It's like I feel like sometimes I'm more of an old man than some of you guys are with video games. And
which is funny because you're one of the younger guys around here.
Yeah, and I started off. I think during one of the first shows that I did on Throwdown, we were talking about how, like, my thoughts on the generation, how that generation was just an utter disappointment.
Oh yeah,
and so I gotta appreciate the games when they do come that are special.
Yeah, and, this is a special one. This is a special one.
Definitely a special game.
Damn, you won't play for a month. I told you.
I know.
You should have had your PS5 shipped to you, man.
I feel like I'm going through withdrawals right now.
It's crazy. I'm telling you, man. I was at work, like, like I needed it, especially when motherfuckers actually told me how to use Ashes of War. I was doing it all wrong. You know.
By the way, that's another thing. It's like you're 20, 30, 40 hours in, you'll find out new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I know about Ashes of War. I still haven't used it.
Oh shit!
I'm 50 hours in.
That means you're really playing the game according to some of these fanboys on Twitter. You use that Ashes of War, you're fucking weak. You gotta not use it. Like it's in the game, use it. As long as it's in the game, don't be cheating. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we know. We know.
he was brought up in the chat. But yeah, no, Elden Ring definitely deserving of the 12 million, and I think this game's probably gonna sell, like, I'm talking about this year. It's going to sell over 20 million this year for sure. It's crazy numbers. Well, think about it. If it sold 12 million in 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure by the rest of the year we could do another 8 million.
I feel like it'll do solid 15.
15? I think that's respectable. So yeah, 15, 20. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds quite. Yeah,
which is still insane. Yeah, Brian, you gonna play it?
No, I have no interest.
Yeah, fair enough. You play Blood. You got the platinum in Bloodborne, though, right?
Yeah. Bloodborne just grabbed me more, so this one not so much.
That's sort of mean with that too, where it's like, granted, I do like the fact that there's a samurai in there, but I feel like again, it's the night game.
Yeah, medieval stuff.
I mean, again, I like medieval stuff, but I just feel like it's overdone.
Yeah, well, because it is. Let's just be honest here. I was having a conversation with somebody. It's like, yeah, it's like medieval stuff has been done forever. It's like there's so many other inspirations you could take from, but everybody just goes back to Tolkien stuff.
That's why I liked Sekiro, because it was well, I haven't played Sekiro, but or Ghost of Tsushima, or like I was thinking about playing Sekiro, because it's like, okay, finally it's granted it's still medieval stuff, but it's like it's a different culture that I'm not, like, we don't know every single in and out of the way it works.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoyed that idea.
I got to bring this up. Logic Wins, what's going on, brother? He goes, it's crazy how Horizon 2 was pretty much forgotten about. And, just going back to what Carlos said, think about both games. I mean, I know, Elden Ring has multiplayer. I get that. But it is kind of single player. So you can't be like, oh, no one's talking about Horizon because it's one and done. Elden Ring kind of one and done too, even though there is New Game Plus and all that. But yeah, it's this is the second time this happened with Horizon, right? Comes out, this other game comes out and fucking overshadows it. Everyone, what is it? We're 2 weeks out. People are still posting Elden Ring stuff just as furiously as they did when the game launched.
Yeah, and I mean, and for example, I think Tony's gonna agree with the sentiment here. I think he's gonna be the one that felt the same way I did. Last go around with Zero Dawn, when it got overshadowed by Breath of the Wild, it felt a little bit kind of tacky to us because we felt like Horizon was a better experience.
Yeah, which it was.
But and this way around, we get it. We're like, yeah, this game, we love that game as well, and we get why it's kind of overshadowing Horizon.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like this one, like, yeah. There is a good reason for it. It's not just crazy Nintendo fanboys, It's like this is real right now. So good stuff, man. And I'm savoring that shit like a fine wine, especially the fact that there's no games coming out anymore this year. Like I was tweeting about this, right? Not to get off topic, but I guess it don't matter. Aside from God of War Ragnarok, which may not even come, let's be honest here, and the 2 Ninja Turtles games, I got nothing to look forward to this year, man. I'm talking about myself, obviously. Like this year's might be worse than last year. Was fucking terrible when it came to gaming. This year looks like even worse. We're really seeing the effects of Rona. We really are. You know, obviously there's a bunch of indie games. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about big AAA games that I play. Those are like Starfield is like the only other one I could think of. You know,
Starfield's the only one.
As a matter of fact, somebody brought it up because I said God of War and Ragnarok. Like, yo, those are probably like the only 2 big like AAA games coming out this year. You know, I don't know about Forspoken now, man. I don't know about that game. You know?
After it stopped being Project Athia, I stopped looking forward to that game.
Yeah. I know we got the Ghostwire shit, but I don't know about that. Like, what else is coming out this year? You guys in the chat help us out. This is a dry ass year.
I don't know when Final Fantasy 16 is coming out.
That ain't coming.
But I don't think so.
That ain't coming.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
a game that I've been hyped for is coming out in a week, and I should be reviewing it.
With Shredders?
The Tiny Tina Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
I like the
Borderlands.
This has the fantasy and dragons and all kinds of craziness in that universe, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
And it has crossplay.
And it has crossplay, so Brian and I will be playing.
Yeah.
No, you will play. I won't be playing it.
I'm
done with Borderlands.
Yeah, deep cut.
By the way, to make it goes that chip on Tony's shoulder with Nintendo. Now, here's the difference, right? Like, I'm going to compare myself with Brett right now. Brett, you tell him, oh, you hate Sony. He'll be like, no, I love Sony. It's just blah, blah, blah. No, I don't fucking like Nintendo. I do not. I fully admit I do not like Nintendo. I don't like the company, and I mostly don't like, I hate to say, I hate the rabid Nintendo fans. They are the worst of the worst, you know? So I won't even hide that fact, you know? Screw those guys. At least
They're rabid, man.
Yeah, listen, remember how they came after Chris and me? They had me on fucking not Reset Era, NeoGaf. NeoGaf post about me, making fucking videos about me just because I said Grand Theft Auto 5 can't run on Switch. By the way, where's Grand Theft Auto 5 on Switch? Where is it? Yeah. So come on now.
What was that, like 4 years ago? More?
Yeah, man, it's fucking crazy, and it cost me money too. But I'm not going to get into that, you know. But whatever. Your boy, ridiculous. Yeah, your boy. You know, I eventually got. You know, I made it places. You know,
we're good, man. We're good.
We're chilling. You know. Don't see any Nintendo doctors on social. Damn. Yo, by the way, he's back. Dr. Fanboy's back.
Really?
Yeah. So this is what he said. He's back on Twitter because remember he nuked his Twitter, nuked his Discord, nuked his YouTube. Right. So he's back on Twitter. By the way, he blocked me, which is interesting. I've never added this guy, but he apparently blocked me.
Anyway, I saw your tweets.
Yeah. So he said that the patient was okay with the video, that he was okay with his information being out there, and that he has learned his lesson. Meanwhile, he was on Twitter talking shit about Xbox again.
No, he hasn't learned his fucking lesson.
Shit.
Number one is like, what did this motherfucker ask him to for his permission?
Yeah.
Before the fucking video?
No, it was after the fact. The guy was probably like, okay, fine.
No,
whatever,
that's sorry, man. I mean, was he recovering from the fucking anesthesia? Hey, by the way, I tweeted you online.
That's right.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, let's go out famous, man, in America.
Number one, as a doctor, you are not supposed to show, to share this any sort of information. This is patient doctor discretion. So in other words, if he did show up, he shouldn't have shown his face. He shouldn't have shown his fucking information. That's fucking.
Hold on.
Because
again,
I say this idiot should be fucking fired for doing that shit, because that is not what you do as a fucking doctor. You telling me, I'm laying out on a fucking table, my life or whatever's in your fucking hands to do whatever that you're going to be doing, and then you just start taking photos and posting your bullshit on the fucking internet? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fire that motherfucker.
And it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. Like, here's the sharing of patient's information is bad enough, but think about it like this, right? This is anesthesia. If you misdiagnose that shit, I don't know the proper term, but if you administer the wrong dose, you could kill somebody. So think about it. You're going anesthesia. The doctor that is administering shit is not fully concentrating on you. He's concentrating on this other shit.
Is he the surgeon or the anesthesiologist?
He's the anesthesiologist. You know, but you know that if you administer the wrong amount of anesthesia, you could fucking die. Of course. So think about it. This dude his mind was not on his task. His job was, I gotta show these fanboys that I'm a real doctor.
Come on, bro. It sounds like he was finished though from the image. It looked like he really did his part. We
don't know. We could have been. It doesn't matter though. You don't do that shit.
I'm sure the doctor he would have seen that and be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, so I mean, the guy's in India, so who knows how things work over there? But
is he in India?
Yeah,
okay,
it's India. Yeah, so
it's no roast pasta over there. So fuck it, whatever. He's not in America.
No, yeah. If he was in America, he'd be fired instantly.
No, if he was if he was in the United States, he would his shit would have been all over the internet. He would have fucking he would have lost his fucking job, and he would have had to apologize for that shit too.
Yep, exactly. But in India, things are different.
India, they got all kinds of stuff. They're probably dancing in the fucking operation room.
Whoa. Bollywood gone wrong.
Bollywood gone wrong. But no, either way, it's very disgusting behavior by this guy, you know? And it goes to show you just how sick these people are. Think about it like this, right? This guy's a doctor. He could afford all these consoles. No, he has to cape.
They're not doctors. That's a separate degree that you have to get.
But the point is, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know how things work in India, but I'm pretty sure he makes enough money to afford every console. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Adam. So this guy, he isn't buying an Xbox not because he can't afford it. He's not buying it because he's loyal to PlayStation. He has to show his words, his console passion. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Hey, some people like cricket, others like baseball. Everybody got their own thing.
We'll do that shit outside the fucking operating table. How about that?
Have they talked to the patient? Has the patient come forward?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, he said that the patient was cool with it.
Apparently,
according to him, the patient was cool.
According to him,
yeah.
By the way, we were having a conversation, I think, like a week ago about unprofessionalism in the video game industry.
Yeah,
it's this is the epitome of professionalism.
It's unprofessional. You seriously. Number one, yes, you could have your passion about video game consoles and stuff, but don't fucking
passion.
Whatever. The thing is, you could talk smack on the internet, but the minute that you start involving people that like in your job or anything like that, as part of this bullshit, especially if you're supposed to be taking care of a patient, no, that's not it. And I don't care if the guy, number one, maybe again, I don't care if the guy said it was okay after the fucking fact. It's still something you don't fucking do. He didn't sign any fucking paperwork. At least in the United States, even when they decide to record any of your information, they ask you in advance, is this okay?
Yeah. Well, in India, who knows, man?
Yeah, maybe in maybe in India they can start showing all kinds of crazy shit because they don't have that sort of thing. Again, not to be offensive to the Indian people, maybe they could tell us better than them. But does that sound right to you guys? The fact that somebody who's doing an operation or giving you anesthesia can just start taking fucking videos of you while you're fucking passed out.
Yeah. That's fucked.
What other fucking creepy shit are these guys doing?
Yeah,
while you're out.
Ah, man, it's crazy.
Remember, there was a dentist doing the fiddly and the diddly. This and all that.
Yep. So
people coming out pregnant, but I don't know how I got pregnant. Actually, no, it's a dentist baby.
It's divergence in the force.
Speaking of which, gotta put my pizza in the fridge.
Oh, wait. Where'd you get this pizza? We got questions. Where'd you get this pizza?
Prince Street? Bleecker Street Pizza.
Bleecker Street Pizza. All right. Is that the one near Bleecker Bob's? Was the music store down the block from it?
It is the one by Bleecker Street.
Well, there's I got you.
Yeah, do a search.
Because there is a pizza place that was next to Bleecker Bob's. That was really good pizza. So I'm just trying
I'll
to
tell you
figure that out.
right. Give me a second. Give me a second. It's on 7th Avenue. It's by.
And if it was near a place called Monster, I don't want to know anymore.
Yeah,
It's not
a place called Monster.
It's not next to it, but it's like 2 blocks away from
From Monster.
Washington Square. From Washington Square Park.
Well, no,
It's
I
by
know
the
because then
it's by the
because at
friend's
the,
apartment. So life would
yeah,
tell me life
because at the
was
corner
gone.
of the other one you have the basketball court, and then you have the Blue Note, which I think actually closed down.
I still gotta put the pizza on the
But
fridge.
anyway, so
So
the only thing I care about is you're not getting like some frozen pizza. This is actually pizza from a pizzeria that you bought. And you're just reheating it, or I mean, you're
No,
putting
he
it in
just
the fridge.
he was already eating it, so he's just putting
Okay.
it.
Yeah, he was eating
Okay.
it when the show started.
Yeah.
yeah, I was eating when the show started. It's I think it's ample enough cool to put it in the fridge and before it starts smelling. And
You know,
I think I'm gonna take advantage of that
there you
moment
go.
right now. Be right.
Do it, man. Do it. You know. All right.
And then,
Go ahead, Adam.
no, I was going to say that eventually you have to go to Ray's, the one on 11th.
One sub said goes, he should have went to Gino's off of Queens Boulevard. But we got to get callers to Queens too, man. We'll do it. You know.
Yeah.
Take them to Valentino's. All right. Ooh, whole idea. We'll talk off air. All right. Moving on here. All right. So EA Play Live will not happen this year.
Oh, why?
Just like E3 ain't happening this year, you know. But again, what EA doesn't have anything to show. What do they have? Nothing for nobody.
Hey, we may not have a Call of Duty.
Well, that's Activision.
EA.
That's Activision.
Sorry.
There is still a Call of Duty with Activision.
I get the Evil Empires mixed up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, like what they got Battlefield and shit. No one cares about that now.
Nobody cares about
They
Battlefield.
had the Dead Space, but we already know that got delayed.
Yeah, they got delayed.
So that's not happening. Sport games still going. The only big controversy is we don't know if there's going to be FIFA under the name FIFA going forward, because they look like they want to drop the name, which they can. It's not a big deal. They have all the contracts with the individual promotions themselves, EPL and all that. So they just pay for the right for FIFA, and apparently they don't want to pay it. So
yeah,
it might be football or soccer, EA soccer next year.
Hey, Carlos, you can go to the.
He's muted right now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
say
he
went to the fridge.
He went to the fridge. Oh man, how far is that fridge?
It might be far, you know.
Is that fridge downstairs?
Maybe across the street.
By the way, the Jekyll and Hyde's Club that's actually not far from Beaker Street Pizza.
Oh, nice.
It's actually down the street.
It's over there on Christopher.
7th Avenue.
All the way to the other end of Bleecker, where there's Columbus Square, right? Because that's where that was. That Jekyll and Hyde was there, near Stonewall, where Stonewall was. Another bar club that's there. Then there's a park, and then there's a train that's right there at that corner.
All right. Okay. So yeah,
Discorama, Manny. Remember we went to Discorama to pick up the Rob Zombie. That's it.
By the way, was it oh my God, what's the White Zombie album with the one that was on the video game was.
The launch album.
Yeah,
Sexorcisto
came out 30 years ago today, man.
Ain't
that something?
Yo, man.
30 years.
Sexorcisto.
That shit is crazy. Road Rash, right?
Yeah. No, Road Rash. Road Rash.
No, that was Soundgarden, right?
That was Soundgarden and a bunch of other groups. No,
Where the Warrior was.
Where the Warrior.
Yeah, Where the Warrior. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Now
that's Naughty Dog, people. That's Naughty Dog, by the way.
Age is Naughty Dog's Way of the Warrior, which is around that time.
30 years, yeah. Motherfuckers don't know about no Way of the Warrior.
Find the Way of the Warrior.
Anyway, so yeah, some of the upcoming EA games, Dead Space, the remake, Star Wars games, and some other shit. So, again, they don't have nothing. So,
yeah, they don't got nothing to show. So, okay, we're not gonna do EA Plays.
Yeah,
whatever.
All right, man.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. All right. I wish Chris was here for this story, but
Uh-oh.
we got to talk about Reggie Fils-Aime.
What did Fils-Aime do? Or is it,
Well,
what,
he
he doing
explained
nothing?
why he left. Remember, he was at GameStop, and he explained why he left.
Uh-oh.
Basically, because the company didn't know where the hell was doing.
Oh,
Well, I'm
yes.
sure that's why they brought him in. They needed somebody that did, and they're like, "Yo, you've been doing this for Nintendo. Answer some questions."
I suspect they did they brought him in, they gave him a lot of money, and he's giving suggestions, and they're just like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, basically, they couldn't explain to him what their future plans were or how they plan to turn things around. So he was like, "Okay, I'm done."
Well, like I said, they've been doing a good job though so far for all the new
Well,
products.
it's
that you can
because
get from it.
it's because of all that extra money coming in from the
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 Chewy
stock.
guy, with
Yeah,
the
so
Chewy guy, that
so
store that bought him.
was that
Chewy.com bought it. Like the guy's
Oh.
running it now.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know
so
anything
basically,
about
he came in. He did try to turn things around, but they weren't listening to him. So he
Yeah.
was like, "All right, I'm out."
Well, that's exactly what it fucking sounds like. They
Yeah.
they pulled him in. They pulled him in because it sounds good.
Yeah.
They used him for his fucking name, hey, former CEO of Nintendo, but instead of putting him into a position where he had actual powers, they literally gave him a good paying window seat. And smartest thing he ever did was fucking leave because essentially he got his money from whatever
Yeah,
the
he got
stocks
his money.
were.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so yeah, they
you know.
just couldn't properly. Not only did they want to listen to him, they couldn't explain to him what their strategy was because they probably didn't have any.
No, there is no fucking strategy because here's the thing, like especially since they're a sort of they sort of a monopoly video game store, right?
Yeah.
There's barely any other chain video game stores in this, in the United States, with the exception of mom and pops and maybe local ones. But they've only been depending on the fact that they're pretty much the only game in town.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because remember, even Best Buy, they were doing a used game program, and then they stopped that.
Yeah, because it wasn't working out.
Yeah.
Like it didn't, like I feel like because GameStop has sort of essentially installed itself as the video game store. Obviously, people who don't know about games will go to the place that's considered the game store.
wow. I'm reading this fucking mess. GameStop. So it says I'm reading this from GameSpot, ironically enough. Articulating a business strategy is critical, Fils-Aime said, saying management needed to be briefed. It needed to have briefed its business partners, vendors, employees, and shareholders, but it never did and apparently still hasn't. So GameStop isn't even talking to any of these people. This is insane.
No, they don't know. The thing about it is that, yes, I know the stonks thing has sort of saved them, but
Yeah.
they're not learning any of their lessons right now.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that thing
came
just.
up, was it Reggie's name?
Yeah, go ahead.
Was it Reggie's idea? Remember when we did hear some stuff about, they're going to have these little hangout areas and all this stuff? Was that his idea?
No, that was already in place before him, I believe.
Yeah, because essentially that what they were trying to do is get people into the place, like in other words, the idea like a bar or something like that, where essentially you have the people in there, and the more they stay, there's the possibility of them buying more, buying games.
I mean, yeah, it's like a casino that they give you drinks and everything, so you
Exactly.
spend money,
Yeah,
you don't have to get
exactly.
up.
But the thing about GameStop is that doesn't it doesn't have
They need to do like a barcade, make a little arcade area, and then
Yeah,
sell some-
but the
Remember when
problem is that
GameStop was trying to say it was an essential business during the Rona?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, bro.
Pennsylvania put a stop to that. They literally killed their fucking license because, oh, by the way, GameStop has to have a pawn shop license to sell fucking games. So theoretically, GameStop is a fucking pawn shop.
It is a pawn shop,
Nice.
Ponzi scheme.
Well, I mean, again, we talked about this before, and we have a bunch of people that that work, Christian used to work for GameStop. Barry Burton used to work for GameStop. They tell you some friggin' horrible stories about that place.
Yeah,
I worked
that's
at
terrible.
GameStop. Remember? That was the Software Etc.
You worked at Software Etc., but would you say it was
It was still the same company because
Yeah, but no, but I'm saying, would you
I
say-
had to go to GameStop to go and pick up stuff and drop things off.
Would you say
It's-
at the time, like Software Etc., because like there's a lot of any of the stories that you've heard right now about how they get paid and all that stuff. That stuff wasn't all in place back then.
It was remember, because I really didn't have a bad experience there.
I think when you during your there was still competition in those days. So
Because we
so
had,
for etc. And there was also EB Games.
but that we were at that point we already owned them. The
Oh,
so
was
for
that,
etc. Because whenever we had, let's say, certain games that weren't selling, or let's say that, so remember right there on A Street on Broadway,
Mhm.
when you went up, they would send us to go and bring games to them or bring things back. So like, let's say they had too many games or too many consoles of a certain type, and then we're like, all right, we'll try to sell them.
Was it that early? Was it that early that they bought them? Because
then,
I know that was EB Games was still
because it was Barnes and Nobles. Barnes and Nobles owned Babbage's, and they owned Software Etc. They rebranded Software Etc. And then they bought EB Games. And then eventually EB Games, they dropped that name and turned it into GameStop.
And then they bought Funko Land.
Yeah, and then they bought Funko Land was like the last holdout, because remember on Staten Island there was a Funko Land near me, and I had just moved there, and that was like 2018 or whatever, and then right after that it was gone. Not 2018, but 2008. No, it's not even. Fuck, I don't even remember anymore. Was it 2000? No, was it 1998? No.
Damn.
No, it was a 99. Yeah, because it was 1999. That's what. And then it disappeared after that.
That's crazy. But yeah, can't blame Reggie for leaving. Mess. Nope. Hot mess.
So, it's still disappointing that is the only game in town. They are the only game in town when it pretty much comes to retail video game stores. And then obviously there's the mom and pops, but like during our wonderful global pandemic, a lot of those places got squashed because they were not essential businesses.
Can you believe it's been 2 years of this shit? Like literally 2 years. That was like 2 years, like about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking wild, man. All right, I think that's it. I think we're done. I think we are done here. Good show, despite the lack of news this week. But we always pull it down on Throwdown, man. All right, what are we plugging around here?
As far as I know, I can't really talk about what I got going on, but we got some good stuff coming up soon. I've just signed, I'm doing covers for DC covers. We're going to be doing Nubia, Queen of the Amazons, which is going to be another 6-issue series. So it's pretty cool to be back, doing covers with Kari. I got some stuff that's probably going to be coming out in the summer that I can't talk about, but it's going to be interesting. And then, obviously, the usual stuff. I'll let you know when things are going on.
Good stuff. Adam, what you got, man?
Another episode of I Am Negan is out for Warlords. That's season 11, episode 13. It's on Spotify, iTunes. I think it's going to be on, maybe it's already on YouTube. But also through Instagram, man. Big support. Thank you. We got over 1,000 new subs.
Oh, shit.
Just on Instagram alone. So people really jumping on there. That's great. Thanks a lot, people.
That's awesome, man.
The coalition. Go ahead. It's all through the coalition page.
Coalition.
Yep, go ahead. With the K.
It's funny. Yeah. I was looking for the coalition, because the coalition Instagram sort of came alive again, and I started looking through all that stuff. Man, there's some fun old pictures in there, like the guys at E3 and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Some of the former members of the coalition.
Wait till I tell you after the show who's running it now.
Oh, it's not what? Okay, yeah.
There's a reason why it's different.
We will talk about that. All right, man. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Head over to our Discord where the conversations are always popping and Mop is always dropping the crazy rumors. Follow Throwdown on any podcast app, whatever podcast app you like to listen to. We are on there. Throwdown Show, 2 words. We are also on the YouTube. Make sure you hit like, subscribe if you have been watching us and enjoyed the content. And visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. Links to everything down below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Adam Vale.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right, I think Carlos is still away. And Brian Manjoma.
And then with the Elden Ring numbers, it means that it's been 3 weeks since we have not gotten Horizon Forbidden West numbers.
Oh, damn!
They bragged about the first one. It's like, oh, it sold X amount in 1 week, but it's been 3 weeks and there's been nothing about it.
You're right, though. You're right. Due to buying Horizon instead, man. Anyway, we'll see you on Sunday. Later.
Laters.